Oh boy, where did we leave off? Yeah, I was just getting out of prison. Now, I need to say this. I've made amends with the mother of my son. She has had so much tragedy in her life, and I wish nothing but the absolute best for her. So when I say this next part or the rest of the story, I hope you know I'm not trying to hurt you or demean you. These things are personal, and I want the absolute best for you. I will not say what her name is, and if you know, don't bother or harass her, please. I'm grateful to God for her being in my life, and as I self-reflect, I see many of the mishaps and problems that I created myself. I take full accountability for all of them. I'm not a fucking victim. I don't ever want to be, nor will I claim to be. If you argue this with me at all, I get it, you care, you like who I am, but the answer is clearly no. I'm not a victim, not today, and I'm not a victim tomorrow or any other day. I wish I could say that getting out of prison was the moment I finally got my shit together. Surprise, surprise. It wasn't. I walked out with the same impulses, the same lack of self-awareness, and the same incredible ability to turn one shitty decision into a complete pile of shit that I was gonna walk into and drag it across the carpet of my life. Moving on, I started this relationship with one of my best friend's girlfriends while she was still with him, of course. It pissed me off because I watched him tell her that she didn't put the fork on his fucking plate, so his response was 5 minutes of "What the fuck is your problem, bitch?" I sat there and said nothing. This was one of the people I filled a visitor sheet out for on a weekly basis who promised to visit me and didn't deliver. Look, as I say the rest of this, it's from the mindset of the time, all right? This isn't how I think now. Like I said in previous videos, I don't respect these kind of people, and I did not respect this person who didn't follow through. She and I were sneaking upstairs and we'd make out and hold one another, and then she would go back to his room when he was texting her. She eventually came to my apartment and we started having sex, like on day one. I actually fell in love, and if you're seeing this, which I know you are, I still love her to this day. The person she was with, I ended up actually pushing down a flight of stairs because it felt like he was personally disrespecting me when he was disrespecting her, even though I had just stepped into the middle of his relationship and tore everything apart. So she and I fell in love like immediately. I had zero skills when it came to my emotional fortitude or anything. Obviously, it didn't teach me a fucking thing being in jail or prison, and it felt good to have someone want me to be by them. I actually still remember how it felt when she held me close to her on the bare floor, with no bed, wrapped in a blanket that she gave me, just holding me close, wanting me to be by her. That is something I miss so very much. The feeling of someone wanting you to just occupy the space with them. Love, whether it's immature or well thought out, is something wild that you cannot explain, and people have spent hours, if not years, interpreting what that is. So we started having problems immediately. I got hooked on painkillers. She gave them to me and I screamed at her because I didn't want to go to work. The drugs truly got inside my head, like they always do. I didn't have hardly shit. Actually, this apartment did come with roommates. Regularly, we would wake up to mice running across the floor and over our feet. I was actually kind of freaked out by all of this, but she was rather used to it, which was kind of fucked up. She played the man role in all of that, even though in the previous video, you've heard some egregiously fucked up shit. I was afraid of mice. She wasn't, and she took care of killing them. So thank you. I actually got kicked out of the place I was living because I wanted her over every single night. There were strict rules and guidelines because it was through a program called Revocation, and they had their own criteria. This didn't last very long, and I was kicked out and hopping from place to place. We both stayed at my mom's after getting kicked out of this old dude's place. He was kind of fucking weird. He talked to his bird for 30 minutes. I eventually found out my girlfriend's mother was a hoarder. Like, this was fucking bad. It was so fucking bad that there was toilet paper stacked up to about my waist in the bathroom. There was so much debris in there that the door actually came off the fucking hinges. And each bedroom had more than one bed. Once one corner of the room was thoroughly fucked up, the next one was well on its way. They placed another bed in another corner and did what came naturally. At this point in time, I wasn't self-aware at all. I started going back to rave parties. I started taking drugs, not in the same volume as I did before, but I started taking them nonetheless. The day I got arrested again was actually kind of fucked up. I can't emphasize that enough. I started to clean out the cabinet in the bathroom. My girlfriend and I were having constant problems at this time. We were stressed out, broke, living on top of a house in an apartment that had previously been an attic, which had low ceilings. There was no door on the bathroom, and everything was painted fucking piss yellow. As I started cleaning, I found her birth control dated for several months ago and a positive pregnancy test. She and I got into a huge fight over this. We were throwing stuff at one another, shit was breaking, and I started taking whatever drugs were around me, which was Ambien, Adderall, and alcohol. I was in the loop of fuck it, so I tried to find other things such as cocaine. I called one of my friends and they said that they actually had some. So I went there, I bought it, and I realized that they fucking ripped me off on a half gram of coke. I stopped in the middle of the road halfway to my place and I turned around immediately, filled with fucking rage and hatred. Every part of me was venomous because that day was completely fucked up. I drove back going at least double the speed limit. When I showed up, I kicked in the door, I grabbed one of their kitchen knives, and I chased them both down because they lived together. Yeah, you heard that right. I did exactly that. I kicked in the door, I grabbed one of their kitchen knives, and I chased them downstairs. Then, as I threatened them at knife point, I made them empty all of their pockets. I stole everything I could get my fucking hands on. Funny enough, I actually stole their change jar too. I got my money back, plus a little bit extra. Then, as I ran outside, I realized my girlfriend was not in the car. The door was open on the side where she had been sitting, and she was nowhere to be fucking found. Not only did this get absolutely chaotic, but the stress I had previously had just quadrupled. I started driving back to the apartment, crying, screaming, confused, wondering what the fuck was going on. I got there and there was no police yet. I turned off the lights and I laid on the floor. I was messaging the mother of my son, or the future mother of my son, over and over again. Where are you? Where have you been? What the fuck is going on? Then squad cars showed up. Then more squad cars showed up. The whole street was fucking filled with red and blue lights. I was watching all of this unfold, and the police were looking at the lock of hair in the center console while putting both of their hands on the hood of the car, realizing that it had been recently driven. I had been recently driving it. More and more police showed up and the streets were filled. And after running my license plate number, somehow they got my cell phone number and they kept on calling me. I was ignoring it, call after call. I was still ignoring it. After the 20th time, I decided there is no way out of this. I'm going to have to answer for it. So I picked up the phone. I was told to go downstairs, which I did. I complied, and I was arrested. Yeah, I literally got arrested again. They thought I had murdered my girlfriend. Her phone was completely off. No one could get a hold of her until much later, the very next day. So apparently what happened was that as soon as she saw the opportunity to get out of the vehicle and run, because I was driving like a fucking maniac saying how I was going to kill those motherfuckers, where have we heard that before? She took the chance. I can see why. I don't think I'd want to sit in the passenger seat of that car either. What I did was fucking psychotic. After many attempts at getting a hold of her, she finally picked up the phone. Thank God. She was alive. Nobody had been murdered, and technically that should have counted as a win. Unfortunately, the police did not share my optimistic interpretation of that situation. After we had found out she was alive, I got booked into jail because I had failed my urinalysis. Plus, whatever the fuck they already knew and the reason I had been arrested, which I didn't know at the time. As they found out she was alive, I got booked into jail because I had failed my urinalysis. Plus, whatever the fuck they already knew about the situation I had been arrested for. I was just hoping that this whole situation would result in 1 week of jail and nothing else happening. Oh, was I fucking wrong. I mean, I hadn't even been out of jail for a year and I was already back in handcuffs, ankle cuffs, and a chain stringing them all together, tied to my waist. I don't know why they call it a Sally Port, but it's the place where they bring you to start the whole booking process. They take off the handcuffs and everything, take your pictures, and then check your pockets to see if you have like any hidden items and all of that other shit. Then they give you your uniform. There's a bunch of people there and we all got booked one right after the other. We're walking in a single file line down the hallway to go to DS1 pod. I was actually the last one in line, funny enough, and this rather good looking officer, thick with 3 C's in all the right ways. We'll call her Officer M. She just stopped walking. All of us stopped too. As she looked at the list of names, she said, "Wait, is this the Eros Maves?" Everyone else looked confused, and I kind of just stuck my head out to the side and said, "Yeah, that's me." She got a big smile on her face and said, "Oh my God, you are legendary around here, especially among the officers." Oh boy, my smartass followed that up with, "Everything you've heard about me is not only true, but worse than it sounds," which is also probably true. Now, everybody was looking at me like, what the fuck? Probably wondering if I was like the next coming of Charles Manson or something. Holy fucking hell. What an introduction to jail again. Officer M, if you're seeing this, give me a call. As I was sitting there in DS1, I didn't really know too many people this time around. There was a whole bunch of old motherfuckers in there, and I had to wait for my parole officer to come in. What they do is investigate. Are the claims credible? Is it worth holding me for? Probably. Do I have new charges? Almost most definitely. And they're gonna have to go through all that stuff. I didn't know what they knew, and I didn't know what they didn't know. I could only assume they knew all of it, and I was completely fucked. When I woke up the next day, my PO was there, and the look on his face was contemptuous and dismissive. I could tell he looked like he was ready to write me the fuck off. He was so matter of fact and condescendingly called me tough guy. "You leave it to beaver looking motherfucker. I'd bounce your fucking head off this metal table if I wasn't chained to it, you fucking punk." Then he gave me my revocation papers. Oh, it was exactly the way I was thinking. I was getting fucking revoked. The one thing that hit me was, oh fuck, Jorgensen, the guy who had been the district attorney and said that he would railroad me and give me 11 fucking years, was now the fucking judge. And he would be the one judging me over this case. My heart just sank and I was panicking like, oh fuck, I had really royally fucked up. Then the leave it to beaver looking motherfucker just got up and left. Now, when you have revocation papers, it doesn't mean you're getting revoked. It's just part of the process. So I was hoping there was an ATR or alternative to revocation. But one thing that stood in the back of my mind was that if I got sent to the Ryan house, I was done. That's it. I was going to fucking prison. Hearing that you got the ATR or alternative to revocation again, and it was the Ryan house, felt like a fucking death sentence. The success rate of that program was very low, like 5% or under. There were plenty of other places I had a good shot of going to, like Nova or all the other various ones that could accommodate me. So I tried to keep that in the back of my mind, thinking, no, I can't get brought to the Ryan house, not me. And I just dismissed it outright, like I did everything else. While I waited for my parole officer to decide my ATR, prison, or somewhere slightly less crappy, I had plenty of time to sit quietly and reflect on my mistakes and avoid creating additional problems.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
Naturally, I almost started a fucking race war over an extra tray of jail food. During this time, I started to notice something, and I actually almost started a race war in lockup. Like, seriously. Hear me out. Here's how the food trays worked. If you were one of the first people in line, there was a good chance that you might have an extra tray or two. First come, first served. You could get the extra tray. It was nice having the extra food, even if it was the shitty jail food from Aramark. Aramark also made the uniforms, and some of the dicks were actually still on them. Thankfully, I didn't want to put all that time and effort into drawing such magnificent works of arts and just have it thrown completely asunder. But the only black dudes who were in there were 6 of them, lined up their chairs the night before so they could sit there. Nobody bothered them because they were nice old white folk. They didn't want any trouble and all that stuff, but that pissed me off. Not because I hated black people or any of that, not at all. I would have acted the exact same way if a bunch of white dudes were punking the black dudes. I just wanted it to be fucking fair. That's it. And nobody was doing a damn thing about it. This got underneath my skin. I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get up earlier than those motherfuckers, and I'm going to sit in that fucking chair. Thankfully, since I have really bad insomnia, the chances of that were really good. And it was going to happen incredibly soon. So I got up earlier, and I sat in the first chair. This big dude named sat in the fucking chair every time. As a matter of fact, they all sat in the same spots until now.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
They got up and he came up to me and said, "What the fuck are you doing in my chair?" I was like, "Your chair? It's first come, first serve. Quit fucking punking these people out of their fucking food." Then he started looking at me like he wanted to fucking fight. He was like, "Oh, you want a problem?" I was like, "Yeah, I do want a fucking problem." He said, "Give me my fucking chair." And all of them were trying to talk over one another to just yell at me. So I grabbed the chair. I was like, "You want this fucking chair?" And I threw it across the room and I said, "Go fucking get it." The officer was looking at this like, what the fuck is going on? Because I and everybody else was completely disregarding the fact that the officer was there. He was like, "Everybody, stop." Nobody was stopping. Put his fucking socks on his little bitch mittens and said, "Meet me in the shower." I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. Nobody was really acknowledging the officer until he turned all the lights on and screamed, "Stop now." Then I stopped and I was like, oh, fuck, this could really lead to a whole new set of charges. It's funny how these things come into focus shortly after and not before. Oopsie. Everybody stopped. All the lights were on, and now we're all looking and listening. Rightfully so, he yelled at us, "Is this going to continue to be a fucking problem? Because I'm working 16 hours today, and I don't want to deal with this fucking shit. Can you guys just calm down and stop? I don't care about the extra trays. Take back all the trays. No one is getting an extra fucking anything." Everyone calmed down, but I was still looking at those guys like I wanted to go because I was pissed. "You want to go to the shower, motherfucker?" After breakfast, I decided to give them that look, like I was headed toward the shower. Everybody else noticed it too, except the officer this time. They were watching me and my movements, and I was standing there with my towel off to my side, and the motherfucker wouldn't even go into the shower room. He stood outside of it, huffing and puffing like a little baby back bitch, and I punked him in front of everyone. So later that day, I was playing dominoes with a couple of the old dudes there. Then this really tall guy named Perry came out of the bathroom with a big pile of shit in his fucking hand. This dude literally shit in his hand, went up to Smoke's pillow, looked at him straight in the face and said, "What are you gonna do about it, you nappy-headed fuck?" And then wiped it all over his pillow and his blanket. Everybody was like, "Oh, fuck. What are you gonna do about it?" "A whole lot of nothing, bitch." Now, Smoke and the other guys there were getting fucking heated, but none of them did a fucking thing. I was laughing my fucking ass off because if you get punked in front of a room full of people, you are in the worst possible fucking position ever. Oh, you have two options. Either you kite yourself out or the harassment's gonna be fucking relentless. People should stand up for themselves. Let me make this real clear. Why did it take me going over there and sitting in someone else's seat like I'm a reverse fucking Rosa Parks with the temperament of a chihuahua on fucking crack? My PO finally came to visit me, and wouldn't you guess it, he had an alternative to revocation on the books. Great, I'm not getting revoked. What could it be? The fucking Ryan House. Are you fucking kidding me? The fucking Ryan House, motherfucker? I'm so fucked. I am completely fucked. There's no way out of this. I am so royally fucked. He practically threw the papers at me too. I asked him if there was another ATR on the books and he said no and left without saying another fucking word. Just picture that. The counselors at the Ryan House come and interview you. They hand you a sheet of paper and they ask you to write a letter about what you're going to do and how you're gonna succeed and what you're looking to get out of it. So I wrote the letter, only to later realize they throw it in your face if you're not living up to those expectations, because you're setting your own standards there. They didn't do that to me, but I've seen them do it to plenty of other people. You have to be locked up for 30 days, completely clean and sober before they can get you there. I don't know why, them's the rules. The Ryan house did not look like a prison. It looked like a normal little blue house that most people drove past without ever fucking noticing. Inside were cameras, microphones, and thousands of ways to get sent back to prison. Most people have probably driven by it and never even thought twice because it looks like a regular house. Fuck, it is. This house holds up to 16 people and is old as hell. Every time it rained, the basement would flood, and often there would be a few inches of water like just there for days. As I said, there were cameras and audio recording devices everywhere, from the basement all the way to the bedrooms and right outside the bathrooms. Not inside them, they're not perverts, but some of the other people who live there, what's a good name to call them? Oh, I got it.
Baby fucker?
Now, the Ryan house only takes the worst of the worst. So I'm in there with people who are literally gang members. People who have sat 10 plus years for mayhem, which is a serious felony offense involving malicious and unlawful crippling, disfiguring, and maiming of another person, and worst of all, child fucking predators. In fact, at one point, my roommate was a child predator. This bottle cap, glasses looking weird motherfucker. He sat 15 years for diddling his neighbor's twin 8-year-old girls. And I could say nothing to him about it or anything. He was to be on the ankle monitor for the rest of his life. What's that I hear? Is that you, Chippy?
The wood chipper wants you!
But yeah, I came in there still completely freaked the fuck out. I decided I was going to be Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. I was going to do whatever they said, and then I was going to get out. I have an extremely great memory too. If you know me, you know that. And they expect you to do all of this work each day after breakfast. It's 6 hours of programming where you go through all your crimes and everything in great detail. But yeah, they were redoing the floors, so I decided to jump in and be Mr. Helpful and all of that. I was actually being a bit of a kiss ass, just being honest. But the reason I was doing this was partly out of fear because I did not want to face that insufferable fucking prick as a judge. What I did was literally memorize their entire workbook from cover to cover. As the testing was going on, I was giving exact answers, and they were building me up saying, "Oh, it looks like you're doing so well." They were always praising me and stuff, and it felt good. I felt like maybe I could do this. Also, you needed to get a second shift job, no matter what. You couldn't get a first shift job because you needed to do the programming. And if you got a third shift job, you just weren't fucking sleeping. So after programming, doing the workbook, and talking about all our crimes in great detail, that's all we did. Sit there and talk about our crimes. After lunch, if you had work, you couldn't drive yourself and you couldn't get a ride. You had to ride a bicycle and give them written street by street routes to and from there every day. If you didn't have a job, which was me at the time, you gave them a street by street route showing exactly where you were going, and you had to tell them beforehand which businesses you're going to stop at for applications. They also charged you for everything. You used the phone. If you called a business asking for a job or called someone you knew, it had to be on their phone. It wasn't a phone you inserted a quarter into. They recorded all your calls, and they were racking up money that we had to pay back later. Everything you did was itemized. The same thing applied to all your clothing, down to how many pairs of socks you had. Trust me, they took inventory of everything and charged you for it if they could. I got a job at Chipotle almost right away. Things were going well. I was 1 week into my job and then I got fucking fired. I had a theft of movable property on my record that was 6 years old. It's not past the 7-year mark. That really sucked because they had to fire me. And at this time, I was being built up like I was going to get some kind of reward. There are 3 levels or 3 tiers. You need to ascend through all of them to complete the program. I was at level 1, and they made it sound like they had this thing where you met with the counselors and talked about it, and they gave you your next level update. Cool. You wanted to get to level 3. Level 3 meant you were now in a position to where you could get out. But I had just gotten fired, which funny enough has nothing to do with this next part. I thought I had figured the Ryan house out. I memorized the material, you say the right things, be helpful, keep smiling, and eventually they would let me leave. What I didn't understand was that they were not interested in how well I could perform. No. And they were about to tear that performance apart in front of everyone. I was sitting in my room and they would tell me when to come down for this interview thing or this award. I was looking out the window onto Prospect Ave and I started seeing something fucking crazy. More and more police squad cars and other people showing up. The driveway was full of police and there were squad cars lining the street. I was thinking, what the fuck is going on? I could hear people filtering in, cops, all of them. I was like, what the fuck? I started to panic. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Then they told me to come downstairs. I was fucking nervous. I mean, really nervous. I walked into the living room area and they were all standing there in a circle. There was a chair in the middle of that circle. Then the director, JW, told me, sit down. I was like, right here? He was like, yeah, right in the middle. Fuck. He grabbed another chair and slid it really close to me, got right in my face and said, you know what I think of you? I think you're a fucking liar. You've been lying to us ever since you got here, Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky, has his shit all together. I see through you. You're a fucking liar. Then he looked at his watch and said, you know what? It's Friday. I'm gonna give you until Monday to unfuck yourself. If you don't pull your head out of your fucking ass by Monday, you know what? I don't care about your kids. I don't care about your fucking family. I don't give a shit about you. You might as well just go and sit out there on the steps. I'll have them come pick you up. You can sit out in prison for the rest of your life and I don't fucking care. Then he just got up and walked away. So, what do you do in that scenario? I'll tell you exactly what the fuck you do. You shatter into a million pieces on the fucking floor in tears in a room full of people. They were all just standing there waiting to see if there was going to be an opportunity for me to run so they could arrest me. That is exactly how it went. I just sat there and fucking cried on the floor in a room full of people. All that confidence I had was shattered, completely fucking crushed. And I was thoroughly gutted in that room for the whole world to see. After they saw that I wasn't going to resist because now I was just a thin shell of a person, they said, that's enough. You can go back upstairs to your room. Stay there until dinner. Most of you don't know what the fuck that feels like. And there, I just cried. I felt like my life was fucking over. My daughter was 3 years old at the time. My girlfriend was pregnant with my son. I kept thinking, I need to do this. Otherwise, I'll never see them until they're much older, if at all. I'll lose everything again. I was just terrified. Every single night, I went to bed absolutely terrified, and I woke up in complete fucking fear. I asked my counselor what I should do. Anything, please, help me. She said, I want you to look up the word humble in the dictionary. So I looked it up. I don't know what dictionary this was, but it absolutely pissed me off. And yeah, I didn't know what being humble or having humility was. I literally didn't. I do now. But I remember very distinctly that humble was the act of expressing humility. So I was like, okay, what is humility? I looked at the definition of humility and it just led right back to the word humble. I forgot exactly what it said, but it was a circular definition. I was like, what the fuck? How is this supposed to help me? I don't know what this thing is. I was just now more confused than ever. Oh, if I haven't fucking mentioned it enough yet, I'm fucking more scared than I've ever been in my entire life. I took a job over at Menasha Packaging, which fucking sucked because you had to give street by street directions showing how to get there from the Ryan house, and it was 10.5 miles away. You just had enough time to maybe eat lunch, and then you had to get the fuck there on your bike. Rain, sleet, or shine. It didn't fucking matter what was going on outside. Unless there was a tornado, you had to show up for work. But if you showed up late, the doors were locked because they had other inmates there. You get arrested. Fuck you. Go to jail. You don't want to go in the rain? Fuck you. Go to jail. You stop to talk to someone? Fuck you. Go to jail. You use somebody else's phone? fuck you, go to jail. You commit a crime, even being on the median with your bicycle, which funny enough, someone apparently caught me doing, and I almost got new charges because of it. I had no idea that was a law at all. I don't even know if it's a law right now, like to this very day. It's so hard to explain how crazy this place was. It was every bit as terrifying as everybody else made it sound. And you were there for months. There were tons of room for you to fuck up. Tons. I ended up getting visits from my girlfriend. She was starting to look more pregnant by the week. It felt good to be able to see her face. We had had loads of problems up until that point, but she was pretty supportive of me getting out and everything, which I appreciated. I still appreciate. She was actually the one who provided a bicycle for me because with the ones at the Ryan house, you might get one that was broken and you'd have to fix it, which they charged you for. The bike she got me was a really nice Trek bike, which helped a lot. That bike made the ride easier, but it did not make the Ryan house any less fucking terrifying. Every day still felt like one wrong turn, one late arrival, or one misunderstood rule away from going to prison. Then I found a job at Cinders. For a few hours every night, life stopped feeling like punishment. After a couple of months of working at Menasha Packaging, I ended up getting a job at a restaurant called Cinders. For being a dishwasher and everything, I actually love this job. In fact, the people on my friends list who are there, I cannot thank you enough for being who you are. I went to bed scared out of my mind every night, and I woke up scared. I was really, truly petrified that I was going to lose everything. And you guys provided the comfort my life was lacking. I felt like I was able to genuinely laugh and have fun again. I cannot thank you three enough. Something else that was funny was that one of the first days there, one of the younger waitresses, she was 16 at the time and I was 26, introduced herself. She's actually one of my best friends to this day, but just imagine how funny this was. She came up and was like, "How old are you?" I said, 26. She was like, "Oh, I thought people your age would be doing better." And then she just walked away. Well, you ain't wrong. But yeah, thank you for being my friend and thank you for holding me accountable. I appreciate you very much. All of you who were there during that time, you guys made life bearable for me. I honestly look back at those moments and I love them. Life was really good for just those few hours when we were all together. It didn't feel like work. When it came to your paycheck, it went directly to the Ryan house. You didn't get any of your money unless you asked them for it, and you had to tell them exactly what you were going to get. Then the rest of it stayed in the bank, which wasn't a bad thing. I had no idea what saving money looked like at this point. Also, you needed to make regular appointments with your psychiatrist. You had to do community projects on top of work, and also you had to do group meetings and stuff like the Genesis Club or the Mooring House. But I fucking hate the 12-step program. Seriously, what the fuck? Why is the first step admitting that you're powerless? What a hopeless, sad fucking endeavor. Plus, everyone who went to those meetings would stop showing up sometimes and then come back with their first fucking coin again and blah, 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 boo-hoo. And if that program works for you, great, but I thought it was just fucking dumb. Then I stopped home on the way to my psychiatrist appointment. That was a mistake. So, this one time, I set up a psychiatrist appointment at this place where I could pass by the street I lived on with my girlfriend, who was heavily pregnant at this point. I decided I just wanted to stop in really quick. I knew it was risky, but I wanted to see her so badly. I was about 3 months into this program at the time. As I walked upstairs and opened the door, I saw her sleeping in bed with someone else. A dude who is like her brother, or just a friend, you know? I immediately got red hot pissed and I started choking him. She woke up and saw me choking him. His face was turning blue and red. I don't know if she could process what was going on because I wasn't supposed to be there, like, at all. She went to go grab her phone and said that if I didn't stop, she was gonna call the police. I slapped the phone out of her hand and stopped choking and started screaming at my girlfriend. I told her, he has to fucking leave now. That's my bed. This is our place. How fucking dare you have him here? What the fuck? She told me I needed to go or she was gonna call the police. I said, fine, I'll leave, but he has to go first. I'm not going to be the first one to fucking leave here. She said, fine. started very slowly getting his things together, and I was telling him, please speed it the fuck up. I was losing my fucking patience. We lived upstairs and he was at the top of the steps, still being slow as fuck about it. I grabbed his backpack and threw it at him. I told you to fucking leave. You're not leaving fast enough. Then I kicked him and he fell down the whole flight of stairs and out the screen door. Now that I think about it, that is the second time I've Spartan kicked someone's ass down a flight of stairs. You know what they say, the third time's a charm. I started walking out. Tony was now aggressively walking down the street. My ex-girlfriend was chasing after him, of course. She was definitely pregnant. I wasn't sure if it was mine or not at this point. Turns out later, it was mine. I took the promise ring that I had on my hand and I threw it in their directions. Keep your fucking ring. Then I realized, fuck, I need to get out of here, like right now. I went to my psychiatrist appointment and I was visibly freaking the fuck out. I was damn near having a panic attack in her office. I was crying and trying to articulate what the fuck had just happened. I was like, please don't tell the people at the Ryan house. I don't know how to handle this situation. I don't know how to process this. I just broke down and cried in front of my psychiatrist, and she was actually very comforting. She understood and she could see that I was trying my best to keep it together. Then I realized, fuck, I can't stay here either because I need to be back at a certain time and I need to get ready for work. This is how you deal with anxiety 101. I had to pretend when I got back that nothing had happened. I couldn't cry underneath my blankets because they would ask me, what's going on? I couldn't talk about it with anyone. I had to keep it to myself because if they found out I had stopped at home and what had happened, oh yeah, I was definitely going to prison. So I pretended like nothing had happened, which was excruciating. I held that pain in for the entire rest of the time. But you know what's even worse? When I got back that very same day, I had gotten to level 2. I had been there for about 2 days at level 2. My counselor had a shirt in her hand. Oh, fuck. It was the same shirt that one of the other people staying at the house had given to me. The counselor said, why do you have another inmate's property? I tried to explain the situation, but she cut me off and said, you know that we can charge you with theft for having another inmate's belongings in your drawer? So not only was I dealing with what the fuck I had just walked into earlier with my ex-girlfriend and her like a brother buddy, but I got to come home to the possibility that I would get another charge and go to prison. Oh yeah, fuck me. I got dropped down to level 1. They decided not to press charges against me because the person who gave me the shirt insisted that he had done it. He could have gotten in trouble too, and we both neglected to notice it in the rule book. So I got dropped down to level 1. I had to start all over again from the beginning. Fuck. Later that night, the guy who gave me the shirt, he was my roommate, along with some other person whose fucking name I forgot, but he didn't last. Actually, almost none of them lasted. My roommate told me, dude, I've never heard of them going so hard as they are going on you, bro. They're not fucking playing around with you. I told him, I know, this is fucking insane. This sucks. I just want to get out of here. Fuck. And still, I couldn't even tell anyone. Even if they were my friend or anything, I said nothing the entire time I was there. Do you know what that's like? I had to pretend that I hadn't just caught the love of my life, pregnant with my child, in bed with another guy. You have no idea how excruciating that was. This whole situation felt so fucking hopeless. Having to start all over again? By this time, I had lost a bunch of weight. I was down to 139 pounds. I was about to become responsible for feeding 16 grown men with a grocery budget that barely covered one normal family. Since I was good with numbers and money, even though I didn't know much about saving it, I had the task of making the food purchases when we went to the grocery store. Yeah, we actually went to the grocery store. Woodman's. Every 2 weeks, I found a way to feed 16 dudes, including myself, on a $105 budget. Do you know how you get fed? They don't have to give you a certain number of calories, no. They just need to give you something from each food group for each meal. Do you want to know what lunch consisted of? A cheese sandwich. A single slice of fucking cheese between 2 slices of bread.
What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Oh, you could stick it in your bum bum. You can put the cheese in your bum.
If we had any mayonnaise or anything else, which was rare, we would put that on there. We would have a fruit juice and possibly milk, depending on what we could afford. Have you ever read the back of the box of pancakes? Do you know what a serving size looks like? 3 inches. A 3-inch fucking pancake. What was that going to feed? A cat? Probably not, no. I have to be honest. I started figuring out where the cameras were and everything, and I would try to eat a little bit of it while my face was in the fridge or the cabinet because I was fucking starving all the time. I lost 50 pounds while I was there. You never know how much it sucks to be given concentration camp fucking rations, be told to ride your happy ass to work, which was 10 miles away from you, in the fucking rain, and then you have to work for 8 hours in your wet clothes because the alternative is prison. Or you show up at your restaurant job soaked without anything extra to put on except for your fucking work shirt, then you go wash dishes in wet pants and wet shoes and wet socks. But yeah, the alternative was fuck you, go to prison. And not just for a little bit of time, for a long, long time. Jorgensen wanted to give me 11 years, and he would have given me every bit of it, if not more. He's not the type of person to make idle threats. I started to figure out what the underlying message of the program was. They never said it out loud. Since I was utilizing all their material, reading every single day, learning new things, I realized something. They wanted us to work together as a team, hold each other accountable, and work out our differences to break the criminal code of silence. I had an extremely eye-opening lesson one day. We're told to take a piece of paper, fold it in half, or draw a line down the middle. On the left side of the paper, we were told to write all of our good qualities and attributes. On the right side, we were told to write all of our bad qualities and attributes. So I quickly filled it out. It didn't take long, then I turned it in. My counselor looked at it and said, "I see a really big problem here." I was like, "What's the problem?" She sat me down and showed me, and this was extraordinarily revealing about the nature of who I am. She said, "You're so quick to claim you're a good father, a good friend. You use all of these words and take ownership of those. Why don't you have the same type of ownership over your bad qualities?" I still didn't understand what she meant, and then it hit me like an empty bottle of Jack Daniels in a bar fight. Are you sometimes an asshole? Are you sometimes mean? Are you sometimes hateful? Or maybe every single one of these things is just you. Oh my God, I had been running from the truth my whole life. It absolutely struck me down to my core. I had been lying to myself this whole time. The evil within me was just as real as all the things that gave me comfort. This was another extraordinarily hard lesson that I've thought about nearly every day for years. Hell, even to this day, I have never stopped thinking about it. The nature of who we are is both beautiful and wretched. One of the most revealing things I hear come out of someone's mouth is when they claim to be a good person. I instantly think when I hear that they would be the person leading you into the shower room of Auschwitz with a big smile on their face saying how good of a person they are. The truth is, none of us are good, but I would like to think that most of us try to do the right thing. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we follow through. I would like to think that each of us incrementally is trying to get better as time passes. So I kept reading and absorbing the material, the new information, learning more and more about myself and the world around me. It was strange. I felt like I had developed a superpower. The only thing I can compare it to is The Wizard of Oz, where it starts out in black, white, and gray, and then she opens up the door after the tornado drops her down into a world of bright, beautiful colors. It felt like it was that all of a sudden. I was putting the world together around me. I was able to easily see who was lying and who wasn't. I was able to pick out who would make a decent friend or a bitter enemy. I had the ability to walk away from an argument or fight, which was really weird for me. But I realize now, not back then, but now, that I could never have seen the world like that unless somebody was dangling my life in front of my face as if it were a set of keys in front of a child. The catalyst was fear of losing everything. I cannot stress enough how scared I was every second of the day. The only peace I had during that time was when I went to work at Cinders. So again, I want to say this to you directly. Thank you, Esther, Nikki, Molly, for giving me smiles, laughter, and a small sliver of humanity. Like, I even get emotional now when I watch shows like Locked Up Abroad because I really know what feeling hopeless is like, or what wondering if you're never going to get your freedom again is like, how scary it is to be trapped or feel discarded, seeing them with tears in their eyes because of how thankful they are to be home and how hopeless they must have felt in those situations. 9 months of living there, absolutely scared. Finally, graduation day came. When they handed me my certificate of completion, this one right here, I had never in my entire life felt like I had earned something as much as I did when they handed this to me. During that time, I watched over 100 people run or get arrested. I still can't believe my counselor jokingly asked me and the two other people, who were graduating. Now, this place isn't as scary as everybody makes it out to be, is it? All three of us were like, yes, this place is every bit as scary as everyone says it is. She was genuinely like, really? Almost in unison, we replied, yes, it fucking is. Actually, funny enough, one of the people I was graduating with, his name was Dennis. We actually became pretty decent friends. He got caught banging one of the counselors at night. It was a girl who openly had a sex addiction. So it doesn't take much to put 2 and 2 together. She ended up getting arrested on new charges, and Dennis was trying to sue the county saying that it was sexual assault. The counselor who was listening to him, basically like a pissed off parent, said, Dennis, shut the fuck up and sit down. No one wants to listen to your dumb shit. And he did just that. He shut the fuck up and he sat down. Since that time, the 2 other people I graduated with both gone back to prison. I have only been back once. Well, not to prison, just jail, for an OWI many years after this experience. If you look at the Ryan Community House's Google page with the reviews, you'll see that I'm the only one who left a good review. For several years after that, I stopped in, said hi, and I told them that I appreciated them. I've had a lot of really wonderful people in my life since then. I wanted to make this my last video, but I simply cannot because the next part is also very long. I appreciate you for taking the time, so thank you, whoever you are, so much. In this next one, I'm going to go into great detail as I've spent many years, if not every day since, self-reflecting on how all of these situations were God pulling me along, sharpening me, making me into something stronger, and how unlikely it would be for all of these circumstances to come together naturally without something supernatural behind them. So thank you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.